turkey meatloaf. Pan is hot and ready. I'm gonna add some onion. Now the cool thing I like about this recipe is that it's using a bunch of leftovers. So the other night we made tacos and I've got leftover beans and rice. So instead of using breadcrumb, I'm gonna use the beans and rice to kind of bind it. Which actually keeps it, I suppose, more paleo minus the rice, but it's low carb, high protein. I'm going to pull some herbs from the garden also to give it that savory flavor. So I go thyme, sage, rosemary. I'm going to use all three of those. First things first though, get the onions going. Now a cool trick about cooking, always, is that you want your pan to be waiting for you. You want it to be hot, waiting. So when it comes time for me to cook, the oven's already on, waiting for me. Stovetop on, pan hot, ready to go. So, little simple things, you know? Got the onion now. I'm going to add some garlic. Do some cloves. If you're not like a savvy cook or you haven't been really familiarized with how to break open your garlic clove, I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if I can help you out here. Take the back blade of your knife, palm of your hand, smash it, get the casing off, repeat. These little things will save you a lot of time. You don't have to sit there and try to peel your garlic. Just give it a whole bang, and then you don't have to do like anger management either. You can actually just take it out on your food. But it's all still made with love, right? So we're gonna finely chop this garlic. Reserve it for a second. We want the onion to cook down first. We don't want the garlic to burn. It'll turn quite bitter. And then one thing I've learned throughout the years was just to keep your cutting board super clean. You don't want a bunch of debris and like, you know, all these leftover little garlic papers sitting there. So get rid of that. Garlic's on reserve. Onion is sauteing. I'm going to add a little bit of bell pepper to it also. I'm going to show you a fun way I like to chop up a bell pepper. Red bell pepper. Garlic on hold. So I like to use the top as a guide and shimmy down the side so that you don't have to worry about the guts, the ribs, the seeds, everything. You just peel that away with your knife. On down the line. Discard that. A little bit of seed of the bell pepper is not going to hurt anything. So I start with strips. For this particular dish, I'm going to dice it. So I do strips this way, and then I go back. Keep the tip of your knife down, use your shoulder, and just push down. And this can go right in there with the onion. They'll cook evenly together. Repeat. Boom, boom, boom. I use extra virgin olive oil for my cooking. I know a lot of people think it doesn't have a good high heat temperature, but if you're ready to go and you want to throw it all together, like right when you're ready, EBOO is fine. It's totally cool. You can use full fat oil, you can use coconut oil, you can use vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever you want. I prefer the olive oil for its health benefits. And then the other thing you want to think about when you're cooking is layering your flavors. So every time I add something to a pan, in this case I'm doing onions and bell peppers together, I'm going to season that layer. This is layer number 1. So I have some pink Himalayan sea salt. Do a fatty pinch of that. And then I always try to use fresh ground black pepper. And because my pan was hot waiting for me, now I can trust that these are cooking exactly as I want. Now, because I'm using some leftovers here, some of the beans and rice that were left over from the tacos we had the other night, I still want it to have like that super savory flavor, which I mentioned about earlier, right? So I grow simple things. I try to keep it really simple. Here we have some oregano. So there's a bunch of onion also, but there's the oregano. And if you decide that you want to grow your own herbs and stuff, just make sure you clip them often. If you want them to go to seed, that's cool. You want them to grow again the next year, awesome. My suggestion would be to clip them as often as you can. Do a major clipping before the grow season's over, like before winter hits, for example. And hang them to dry and then crush them up. Have your own homemade dry herbs. And then we have rosemary, same deal. So whenever I clip my herbs, I try to go down to the nearest branch to where the next new growth is starting, or at least give it an opportunity to just have a clean cut, basically. So rosemary and oregano are going to give it that more savory